some maneuvering when I first get into my chair. I'm wearing the wrong glasses for this. Hi everybody. How's it going? My TV will start up in a second. I figured out how to get it up on my TV so I can watch the chat. And it says it's still waiting, so it's taking its time. It really is taking its time. There we go. I think. Oh, there it is. Okay. Now I want the chat on. There it is. Hey, how's it going? I can't see very well in these glasses to read here, but I can on the TV because these are my regular driving TV watching, and these are my reading glasses down here, my bifocals. So let's try and get this set up. I want to show you what I'm working on. Well, I'm still working on the same thing. I'm here for early bird. Yay! Okay, let's shut this off here. And now I want to show you, before I get started, that I've had a problem with this. Okay, because I have been sewing it together and it looks pretty good, right? Like nice and straight across the top. But my sides are all over the place. So what I've decided to do is to stop adding to this one right now and start a whole new panel that I can put beside it and then put it beside it and then fill in the gaps where it's all jagged. Does that make sense? So here is, I'm making them in strips of 8. This is what I've done while I've been watching TV in the evening. This is one strip, and I'm working on strip number 2. And then I'm going to put these together, but that would take me hours, so you may not see that just yet. I have 2 more stars to put on my strip that I'm working on right now. Which direction am I going? I know I started in... Now, it may look totally random, folks, but I'm weird about color. Not all blues are created equal, not all greens are created equal. But I'm a little OCD when I go to put a color up against another color, and it jars me. So what I did is I picked these I picked these and laid them out in advance. And I've got green and gold going into green and off-white, going into green and blue, going into blue with a little bit of green in it and some purple, onto purple, onto gold with a bit of pink and purple in it. So that's what's coming next. Now I just got to get set up because I'm not set up. I don't want that needle. It's got a weird feel to it. How about you? Yes. Some of these old needles have a... Hi! I was just watching the video about your garden. It looked really good. Well, Howie's going to whippersnip my garden this weekend. Maybe even tonight's. And here's the thing. I got so tired last night. That's another thing. Where the heck is my... Well, I'll use this. If you can't find a seam ripper, sometimes a good steak knife will do. Now, I was getting really tired last night. You guys just a little bit closer, maybe a little bit higher. Now, I was getting really, really tired last night when I did this. I'm going to do this. This is where I usually sit, so good. You can see that. Let's just... There. Sorry about the vision of my legs. And you can see I have kind of a gappy hole in here. And I put this one on in the wrong place by accident. Doesn't matter. We're going to fill those in. But this one has to be taken out. And I can't find my seam ripper unless it's in the bottom of one of these bags. Nope. So I have to take this thing out. So this is the bitch part of my stitching. Now listen, folks, it's not really about bitching. It's about, see, a good steak knife. I call it Stitch and Bitch because back when I lived in Wakefield, we had a Stitch and Bitch. And you'd pay $2 a week. And that was like covering the coffee and the tea and whatever. And everybody brought whatever they were working on. And we'd have, we'd go into the Legion Hall and we'd have a visit and we'd stitch and we'd bitch about life and all those things. But I quit going when it started becoming like more of a club where instead of everybody bringing what they're working on, somebody wanted to do something different. So we had 3 classes of art with one of the members and that kind of thing. And it's like, no, it's called Stitch and Bitch. So, and these things required you to buy stuff like, supplies and stuff, right? Now let me see if I can you guys see what I'm doing here? Do this way because the hole on this side is bigger. I don't want to rip my fabric because then I would have to replace the entire star. Maybe I'll start a Stitch and Bitch in my own town. I'm sorry, folks. This is the bitchy part of what's going on in my life at the moment. I am going to admit that after this weekend, I've been really on an emotional roller coaster after this weekend. I mean, there were. I got to see. I got so many people I got to see. And I got surprised, and it was awesome. But then there were people there that really just didn't want anything to do with me. And they made it very apparent. And that made me sad. Not sad for me, but yes, sad for me in a way. Because I went there ready for love, music, healing. That's what this celebration of life was about. And I had family members who seemingly for no other reason than just because of, I don't know, just didn't want anything to do with me and just literally turned their back on me. And it's their loss, isn't it? It's their loss. I went there. This was a celebration of life, not just my brother's life period. Okay, we have everything we do, good, bad, or indifferent, is pretty much a choice we make, right? And if you go to a celebration of life where we're all working on music and love and healing, and you deliberately turn your back on someone who's ready to hug you, ready to tell you that you're loved, but you turn your back on that, who's the loser? And it's been bothering me because it's really sad that someone would choose a celebration of life to make a point that they don't like somebody. Isn't that sad? I mean, it's just really sad. So I have been working through those feelings because, for some reason, I just assumed. See, there we go. Now I got this. It was because this was not a good one. I just assumed that Yeah, I hear you, Solitary Fairy. Hey, let me say, I can't pop out the chat. Oh, no, wait a minute. Maybe I can. Let me pop out the see if I can pop out the participants list on my phone. Super chat, live. No, it's not going to let me. Okay, so I guess my point is that I guess the point is that yeah, it saddened me. It really saddened me, and I felt, not only did I feel disrespected, but I felt that that behavior disrespected the entire process of the day. Does that make sense? Oh, I'm not staying hurting. I had a long talk and a good cry last night. Long talk with Howie and a good cry. And now I got to look at this because this is what, it's an odd cut on this one. So I just want to see if I can't make it right here somehow. Because if the line isn't straight, it throws me right off. And so I'm just going to trim this wee bit of yellow right here. And they made a point of talking to other family members and my siblings. Everybody but me. So, thought I was acting out at my grandma's funeral. It was a severe allergy from the flowers. Forgot my antihistamine. Oh my God. Hey, Michael Tommaso, Linda Bop. How's everybody doing? Let me just put my stuff down here. Okay. You were choking. Oh, baby. Shows lack of character and integrity those family members have. You rock. Screw them. Yeah, but that's the point. I don't want to have to say screw them. Right? And they made a point of showing that they were willing to make up with another family member who they have done nothing but browbeat for years, and then deliberately turn their back on me as if to say, you know, yeah, she's worthy, you're not. And that was, it's just, it kind of comes as a shock to a system. Because yes, I fully expected, hey, which end are we at here? I fully expected, how many of these do I have that are bent like that? Let's just do this. Maybe my expectations were off. Let's say that. Maybe my expectations were off. Maybe I was expecting too much from them. Maybe I was expecting too much. Maybe I was expecting, you know, loving, forgiving, healing behavior. I don't know what I need to be forgiven for because I haven't done anything that I'm aware of, right? Except take another family member's side when they were being, when they were being abused, mentally and emotionally and spiritually abused, right? So I took their side. They went, never mind, I don't want to get into it. It's just, I had a good cry last night. I expected them to be decent human beings. Are they winning over you? You need to let it go and move on, honey. Yeah, I get that, sweetheart. But this was an opportunity for everybody. And it was wasted. It was a wasted opportunity. And I think that's more sad than anything else, right? So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm grieving about, is that for some people, making a point is more important than decent behavior. You know what I mean? It's more important than, and to choose a celebration of life to make that point is really kind of barbaric, if you ask me. I won't use the word that Howie used, right? Because, we just don't. So, and honestly, I'd rather do my own holiday dinner. I roast damn good turkey. Absolutely. I got a point where I feel so uncomfy. I don't go to holiday get togethers. It feels, well, this was the point. This was one of the best days ever. Oh, God, you guys can't see, can you? Okay, there you go. This was the best celebration of life that you could have hoped for. Like, I was talking to my one nephew, and he said if we had expectations of it turning out well, then it exceeded all of our expectations, which is true. Which is true. There was so much love, so much happiness, so many good memories, so much music, and it was amazing for everybody, except for this one little deliberate snub or slight, you might call it. So, what kind of person does it take to use that kind of celebration to make a point, to specifically make a point of hurting somebody? I'll pray for them, right? It's because I've always worked really hard at loving everybody, right? It is childish, and I work really really hard at loving and supporting people, right? And I work really hard, and I forgive all the time, but I'll never forget, and that you know this, whatever comes next is not of my creation. Like, whatever family function or whatever comes next, I no longer feel obligated to keep myself open to more hurt. So the opportunity was, this is my thing. Michigan Snow Ponies channel. Okay, I'll address that in a second. This was an opportunity for healing, and someone used it for hurt. And that's it. That's all. And now I no longer feel obligated. The next time I go to a family function, I no longer feel obligated to open my arms, to wait with arms open for somebody else who hurt me. I just won't do it next time. That was the opportunity missed. Michigan Snow Ponies channel got hacked. You got to be really careful if you have a YouTube channel. Can you guys see okay? You have to be really careful if you have a YouTube channel. Not all opportunities for, like I get emails daily on, can you, can we do a commercial on your channel? Can we, insert this here? Can we, can we send you this and this and this and this? And they come across with some really great deals. But here's what I learned. The moment someone wants you to download and open something with a password that they give you, they're asking you, without you knowing it, to let them into your channel, to take control of your channel. And this shit happens in a heartbeat if you're not really, really careful. Yeah, I seem to do a lot of product previews, but I'm really careful. I'm really careful. See, I left that in there because I'm going to have to do this all the way across here anyway. So, the next one is, see, we've gone from, see how this flows? Green and gold, green and off-white, white, green and blue, blue and gold and purple, purple into green and gold and pink, and now we're going to go straight dead on into the black and pink. I got so upset. Now, somebody... Exactly. Hey, Charlene! Yeah, that was years ago. So... I forgot where my brain was going. So I have to be really careful. And I'm going to do an update soon on the hydroponic thing. I thought it would be moving along faster than it is. And I read the instructions such as they were. And I've ordered new fresh nutrients, which I ordered 2 weeks ago, still have not showed up. But it doesn't seem to be moving along very fast. I'm with you always. I'm with you rain or shine. Hey, Quacker from Idaho, Northern Idaho. Love piecing that quilt. Never could do that. Well, some people have asked me, that's what I was going to say, have asked me for the pattern. And if you have a printer, I can send you the attachment for both the Grandmother's Flower Garden block and these ones. Now this particular one, can I show you? Yes, I can. Oh, if I can find it. Anyway, the Grandmother Flower Garden that I'm working on right now, you'll see it right. Whoa! There goes the phone out of the holder. Okay. Can you... Hang on a second. Okay. There's the Grandmother's Flower Garden quilt I'm working on. And that's a paper piece quilt. The original one I did was not paper pieced. Okay? That one I'm paper piecing because it's simpler. The original Grandmother's Flower Garden quilt I did was like this one. But if you have the pattern, hey Claire, hey Minette, oh sorry, well I can't help it, it's kind of, that's what happens when you got a live stream and no cameraman. How are you, darling? Yeah, they wanted her share of property. What are you talking about? Anyway, some people have phoned and asked me for these patterns, and if you have a printer, I can email it. I can send you an attachment for this one and the Grandmother's Flower Garden hexagon. And all you have to do is print them off and cut them up, cut them out, and then you can do your, if you are an advanced quilter, I'm not really advanced. This is my key to advancing in the quilting life, okay? But if been busy cleaning my freezer of last year's, oh, I don't want to talk about it. I've got to do pork soon. This one would be a lot simpler if I paper pieced it. And so if you want the copy of this pattern or the Grandmother's Flower Garden, I can email it to you. Just make sure you print it off in the letter format size so that your templates are big enough, right? Then you can photocopy them over and over and over again, and you can paper piece this pattern. if you don't want to do this freehand like I'm doing. Okay? Hey, Renita! Being better. Hot AC, no AC. Lucky I've been volunteering at the rummage sale at the church. They have AC. Oh, yeah. Holy smokes. I just have my fan on low. It's pretty nice actually today. I don't even think I need my fan on. But, can you... There, that's better, isn't it? Can you see better now? Oops. Where'd my needle go? So this can be paper pieced, which would be much, much easier for someone who is not been sewing a long time freehand and knows how to freehand sew. Okay, this is not for the beginner. And even I am like kind of, you know, I'm running into things about putting it together and assembling it. I may never get this completed before I die, but I'm going to try because I want this. This is mine. There's memories in most of these fabrics. There really is. Some of them I bought off of eBay. Some of them came out of clothing. Some of them just caught my eye in a fabric store. There's a place called Ron's Fabrics in Cornwall. And it's this store where, and they sell fat quarters and they sell stuff. I like to go. I went to Ron's Fabrics in Cornwall to get most of my fabric for Brother John's quilt. I'm intermediate advanced quilter, have a 1/2 inch flower garden to finish. 1/2 inch flower garden. Jeez and crackers. Well, I consider myself kind of intermediate. Doing this freehand has been, when I first bought that first quilting book and I opened it up and I saw this, I said to myself, the day you can do that is the day you call yourself a quilter. Right? I'd rather applique. See, I'm not into appliquing. I'm not fussy on appliquing. I've done it, but I'm not fussy on it. I prefer to make pictures with pieces of fabric. You know what I mean? Some is cotton. This is a scrap quilt. So some of this is cotton. Some of this is a cotton blend. So I try to stick to cotton, but we will see. We will see. Whoops. Almost made that mistake, didn't I? Yosemite Sam says his biscuits are on fire. What? I'm with you always. I'm with you, rain or shine. I think that's my clock saying it's 2 o'clock. And the last one, well, I've got to put a yellow piece in here. See, so it looks random, right? But it's in a way so that see, now I don't have that puckered hole right there. So it was worth it for me to take it apart. I have to put another piece in here. And I'm interspersing the different colors of yellow so that it's truly a scrap quilt. Thank you, Seashell. Just 3 more 4x8 beds. Yeah, My garden, I'm not planting, I'm not going to plant onions, and I might plant leeks and stuff next year, but we'll see. This year has just not been a good year for me physically. With all, like, to get out there with all the rain and then the heat, it's been really all over the map when it comes to the weather. It really has. Where did my pin go? There it is. Purple and gold. I think it was our school colors too in high school. So Howie's going to snips. Somebody said to me, like, I had these teeny tiny white moths, and I mean, they're so tiny, they're like the size of the head of this pin. Okay. And they were all over my strawberry plant. They're all over my strawberry plants. And they said, well, you usually get them from a nursery. They're a pest. I said, but I don't buy from the nursery. And then someone reminded me, I got my apricot trees from a nursery. So I'm really concerned. I hope they don't go all over the garden because, you know, my garden isn't sprayed at all. So I may have to sacrifice that bed of strawberries to vinegar. Alpine strawberry plants to vinegar. I'd like to put in strawberries, real strawberry plants next year. We'll see. I've tried it before. We will see. You know, Bev, I don't know if I want to. Whoops, I missed that. How do I see that again? Oh, where's the live chat? Hang on. Oh no, that's not going to work either, is it? I missed that, whatever it was. On my geraniums, got an earth-friendly spray. It's alive. Living Miracle Grow. Giving Miracle Grow now. See, you got this wonderful... Okay, I got to say this. You sprayed this earth-friendly stuff for your spider mites. But now you're giving it Miracle Grow. Miracle Grow is toxic waste. That shit causes cancer. It's right up there, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, yeah, if you want it on your flowers and stuff, but don't put that shit in the ground. It's no good. It's really no good. Yeah. No, don't use Miracle Grow. That stuff's toxic. It's really bad for you. Homegrown celery tastes so vibrant and energetic. Absolutely. Do you know what I did yesterday? I'm so angry. I went to make soup because it was overcast and chilly yesterday. So I got a bot. Now here's something that goes back to when I was making vegetable broth a few years back and I found a bottle of it. Do not put peppers. You know when you're cutting your vegetables and you're putting stuff in your broth bag? No broccoli, no cabbage family at all, and no pepper family. Nothing in the green peppers or anything. Because over time they make the broth taste funky. Right? Not funky as in bad, just like got an ammonia flavor or something to it. So I made this pot of soup yesterday. I used Pro Mix for seed starting and it didn't do as well as there is a difference between seed starting and seedling mix. So I got this stuff this year from the Botanics in Hull, and it's a organic seed starting mix, and my gosh, it works so well. I can use Pro Mix for all my special plants. Yeah, I buy organic Pro Mix. So when they go from seedlings, from seed starting, and then they're being transplanted into seed cells or into seedling cells, then I use the Pro Mix. Hey Wendy, how's it going? So today I'm just sitting here stitching, and you heard me bitching. So I think maybe what do you think? This is what we should call, when I'm sitting in the chair sewing, I think we give it a title of Stitch and Bitch instead of In the Armchair with Mrs. V, right? I pre-order online and go pick up at the local hardware store. Well, last year in February, the Botanics was open and it had what I needed. So, maybe I'll go in there and see if they have any and I'll buy it, before the fall. But I've decided there's things I'm just not going to plant in the backyard anymore. Like I'm always going to plant tomatoes. And I've got to see how well my tomatoes do this year. They're not, I don't know about anybody else, but my tomatoes are just not growing as fast as they could be. Now my cucumbers and zucchinis are doing really well. Oh, I got a zucchini to pick. So I don't have vegetables growing. I only have balcony at my apartment. You can still grow vegetables on a balcony. How did things go at the heart at the doctors, Wendy? Did you go to the heart doctors yet? All right. And now, see how we've moved from color to color without any garish or jarring transitions? I'm weird that way. And now we do a pale. Yeah, tomatoes like calcium and magnesium. They really do. And I did that this year. I did something, maybe that's it. I did something different this year. This could be the issue. I boiled my eggshells and Epsom salts in like a gallon of water with just like a tablespoon of vinegar to help pull the minerals out of the eggshells. And I watered when I put my plants in, I watered them with that. So I'm wondering if maybe, because whenever when I ground up the eggshells with Epsom salts and then put a teaspoon, I would mix a tablespoon in to the soil that I was putting the tomato plant in on. Like I would mix it up in the hole in the soil and then put the tomato plant in. And that worked. And someone said, oh, no, it's going to take years for that to work, right? Well, so I did it the other way, and my tomato plants aren't doing as well as I had hoped. Usually I'd be getting a red tomato or two by now. But I'm not. They're barely this big. You know? What do spider mites look like? I've seen tiny, bright red spiders. But only one or two. But I mean, they're like neon. They almost look artificial. But I've seen them off and on for years, so. You got an itch, Greedy? You got an itch? Oh, you poor thing. Hey, just me. Now, not a lot tree between me and East. Oh, okay. Tonight, I didn't do Little Women Live last night because I was just in a really bad, you don't want to hear the kind of mood and stuff I was in last night. I had a long emotional talk with Howie and I went to bed early. And, God love my husband because he no longer makes fun of me. Not fun of me. He used to tease me. Snap out of it when I would get depressed. in low temperature oven for an hour in pan to crush them. You need to toast your eggshells like that, honey. And you're right to do so. Why? Because if you put raw eggshells in your garden, you'll find all kinds of critters digging up your stuff. So you got to toast it, right? And you know what's wild? Hang on, I got to get this in here. Do you remember Gracie kept digging up my tomato plant? The last time I made pickled eggs, now Gracie doesn't like eggs. So the last time I made pickled eggs, I threw the shells in the hole. And I never, because every time Howie filled in the hole, she'd dig it up again. So I threw cooked eggshells in the hole and she hasn't touched it. Isn't that wild? I don't get critters in my garden with raw shells. Really? Huh. I live in, a lot depends, I think, on where you live, too. I live in raccoon country. I live on the edge of a ravine. There's a reason why Howie won't let me raise chickens out back unless we put a concrete floor in the pen. Right? And then they're not free range, are they? But I guess we could let them out during the day. I don't know. I don't know anymore. I'm just, I can barely walk, folks, and that's the God's honest truth. I can barely walk, so when I have to get around the garden, it's a lot of work. I'm out there with my cane or a walker, and I do a little bit. Yesterday, I weeded my beans, and I started weeding my parsnips. And when Howie whippersnips the garden, I'm going to be weeding my barrel celery and my parsnips. And, I'm not going to bother trying my onions because when I started trying to pull the weeds, the onions were coming up with them. Okay. I go back to the surgeon on the 24th for a checkup. Okay, good. You name the animal, we get them. Yeah, well, they just come back and bring their family, They Okay, I have to put one more yellow on here. Is this one of the crooked ones? Yes, it is. So let's trim it. Don't you ever bet me, 'cause I'm gonna be true if you let me. This is just not right. No, that's garbage. I have a little bag over here tied to my basket. Ow, my knees. Sorry, folks, I crossed my ankles, but I have to lift my foot to uncross my ankles, and it hurts my knees. What you doing, Juju? Look at my dog. Whoops. Oh, mommy baby. You mommy baby girl. What you doing? What you ma do? So, I'm going to sew this one. Happy Aloha Friday. Right. So, today is Friday. I believe it's the 19th of July. God, it hardly feels like summer at all. And after all I went through to get Howie to bring my, to get my pool ready, and now it's hardly being used because the weather keeps going from cold to hot to cold to hot. Rain and mugginess. So this is the last piece. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew yellow all the way in, like this one right here. This is all going to be filled in with yellow, and then I'm going to put the other end on it. or the other row. We walked in the garden alone, while the dew was still on the roses. And he walked with me, and he talked with me, and he tells me I am his own. And the words we share as we tarry there, another's ever known. All right. Busy day for us. Tomorrow, haircuts. Then want to get both front and back decks power washed. Then next week, put the wood sealer on them. That's the plan before fall here too, sweetheart. Power wash the decks and stain them. And the railing, the deck and the railing. So, go. I am almost there. So, tonight, 8 o'clock on Reading with Beverly Wolfe. Linda will put up the channel there for you, or Seashell will. Tonight at 8 o'clock, we're continuing Little Women Live because I didn't do it last night. I was not up to par. And let's face it, folks, this is the way life is going to be on my channel from now on. Right? Hang on. Okay, let's do it this way. I am no longer able to put the hours in. Not just with animals. The animals are gone, but I'm no longer able to put the kind of hours in. You know, it's the reason we got rid of the animals. I'm no longer able to put all the hours in of weeding, gardening, harvesting, canning, and filming on a daily basis. So that is why things are not going to be as fluid as they used to be on my channel. Like I remember John telling me once, when I say I'm exhausted, I gotta stop doing videos for a week. And then 2 days later, I'm doing videos, and Brother John, Jane Alzero go, Bev, you're telling people you're going to rest, and then you don't, you know? And so it's no wonder they have superhero expectations of you, right? So the way things are going to be now is if I have material for a video, I'm going to put a video out. Like you got a video today. Tomorrow, I'm making blueberry. I was going to do it today, but my knees are too sore for me to stand at the stove. So this weekend, I'm going to be gardening. This weekend, I'm going to be making blueberry blackcurrant jam. And there will be a video. And we'll see what comes after that. But I'll tell you, I meant to tell you this. Wanted to finish this earlier. I went to make soup yesterday. I got a jar of my home canned chicken broth. I got a jar of vegetable broth, and then I cut up 2 carrots, I cut up an onion, I put in some dehydrated potatoes. I went out into the front yard where I have those little bits of celery growing here and there, and I just cut them off because they'll grow back, I know. And I brought that in. They're just thin, like really thin stalks, but I cut those up into my soup, and I seasoned it and everything. And I went to taste it, and the vegetable broth did not taste. It ruined the soup. It just didn't taste right. So here's the tip of the day. When you're making vegetable broth, when you're saving vegetable scraps for vegetable broth, onions, anything in the onion family, carrots, celery, but don't do pepper, and don't do anything in the peppers, and nothing in the cabbage family. All right? This is Mrs. Wolfe from our half-acre homestead saying, Reading with Beverly Wolfe, folks. I will see you at 8 o'clock tonight for Little Women Live. Sue is sending me a book, a copy of Little Men Live, so that'll be next when it gets here. And Freaky Fridays at 9 p.m. for my patrons. If you don't know what a patron is a patron is someone who spends $5 US a month or $7.50 Canadian a month. And on Mondays and Wednesdays, we just hang out, unlisted and private, and we talk about stuff that's just, YouTube doesn't necessarily approve of, or we talk more about our personal lives, which is a closed discussion, right? But on Fridays, we dodge the copyright police. We turn on the disco lights. We put on the music, and we just kind of chill and bounce and laugh and have music to just kind of scrape off any negativity from the week. So, and most people who are patrons say that the $5 a month is worth just having every Friday. So that's up to you. I love you guys. Take care. I'm not asking for money. I'm not. I'm just telling you, if you want to get in on Freaky Fridays, Patreon is where to do it. All right? This is Mrs. Wolfe from Our Half Acre Homestead saying, I'm going to kick back and I'm going to medicate because my knees are screaming. And I'm going to watch more of Call the Midwife. They've brought out season 13. So I started watching at season 6 and I'm working my way back up again. I love you. Take care. God bless. Reading with Beverly Wolfe and Patreon. I'll see you guys tonight. Mwah. Take care. God bless.